Okay. Thank goodness. I think it's working. Oh my god. Hey, it's a stream. You guys might have seen me go live for like 3 minutes, like a couple minutes ago, but nothing actually showed up on the screen. I don't know what the issue was. My Elgato was acting a little funky. I've had slight issues with it whenever it's specifically whenever I record something from my iMac with this Elgato, and then it's always whenever I go to set up with my iMac to record something. Okay, audio and everything seems good. When I go to record something with my iMac, I think it's because the iMac's only video out is like DisplayPort or mini DisplayPort or whatever, and I have an adapter to HDMI, and I think, long story short, I think that confuses the Elgato, and then even when I go to use a different device, like this Xbox Series S that I'm currently using to stream this, it gets really confused, and then it takes me a while to get it set back up. So anyway, though, we are now live. We are playing XDefiant. XDefiant shuts down tomorrow, so that is why I decided to do a stream of it today. It was kind of a, you know, accomplish two things at once sort of situation, because I wanted to do a stream because I just have a lot of stuff to talk about, and then I also wanted to make a video about XDefiant because it's shutting down. And then I kind of figured, because like I didn't really think I'd have time to make like an actual video about XDefiant. I was like, well, wait, why don't I just stream XDefiant? Then I can play XDefiant, talk about XDefiant, and then also talk about all the other stuff that I want to talk about. There's the update about that it is shutting down. Something kind of strange about this, though, that I think, well, something that I think is strange. So, we regret to inform you that we are initiating the sunsetting process starting today, December 3rd, but yet the game doesn't actually shut down until June 3rd. That is like December, January, February, March, April, May, June. That's like 6 or 7 months that this game still has been playable, even though it's been delisted. Funny enough, I've played this on PS5 before, but I hadn't played this on Xbox Series S, but I did have this downloaded on my Xbox Series S. There's not really like a specific reason. Actually, I want to see if I can do Team Deathmatch. Although, yeah, this game has some kind of odd modes, doesn't it? Hunt Lums? What is this? So, what was I saying? So, there's not really like a specific reason why I'm playing this on my Series S, other than just the fact that I don't really use my Series S for that much, and figured it was a good opportunity to use it for something. So that's pretty much it, honestly. And then also, I think the little bit of stats that I had from the PS5 version transfer over because it's my Ubisoft account. So even though I play this on a different platform, it's still on the same Ubisoft account. So there's that. Oh my god. Is this from Rayman? I thought it might have been from Rayman. Oh my god. So the game has changed a little bit. Oh god, this is really bad timing, but I need to go blow my nose really quickly. I will be right back.
Hotshot. The enemy crew drops bounties when they die. You want to go get those. 3, 2, 1. Get the most bounties, and you become the hotshot.
Okay, I'm back. And actually, I want to change. I want to play as the Omega Force guy.
Intelligent System Analytic Computer, codename Anna, online.
So they've changed some stuff since the last time I played, because I haven't actually played this in a while. I played this around the time it came out, and then kind of just like
New Hotshot is an
forget about
ally.
it.
Allied Hotshot has collected multiple bounties.
Am I picking up the little flying things? I think so. So yeah, I haven't played this since like this feels like I'm playing Paladins right now. So I haven't played this in a while. I do like XDefiant, but it's one of those games that I think just kind of personally came out at a sort of bad time for me because I've just been so busy with so many other things that I just haven't really ever gotten the time to just like sit down and play it. But I really like the concept of XDefiant because Ubisoft has a lot of cool IPs that they have access to. And I think this was a really clever idea to use all of those because, like, I mean, you got Far Cry, Assassin's Creed, Ghost Recon, I mean, not even just Ghost Recon, but various, like, Tom Clancy franchises, a lot of different stuff, with characters that are appropriate to this kind of, like a first-person shooter game, Assassin's Creed, stuff like that, and, yeah, I thought this was a really good concept, and I'm surprised that it's shutting down so relatively quickly, because, like, when this was first announced, I remember it had some kind of negative press. People were like, oh, it seems like a stupid idea, but then people were kind of feeling a little bit like, I don't know, I think people have been getting frustrated with Call of Duty, and so there was a lot of press that I saw for this where people were like, you know, this is going to be a Call of Duty killer, this game's, like, awesome, it plays like older Call of Duties, and it does play quite a bit like older Call of Duties. It's nice and simple compared to some of the newer Call of Duty games, where it's just, like, you pick your two weapons, you pick a grenade, and then you have, like, a special ability or two for, your character, and that depends on, like, what faction you choose, so, like, it's pretty straightforward, and really easy to play, and I think that worked in its favor, but I don't know, I feel like there are so many games like this on the market, and also Call of Duty Warzone has just such like a really big hold. Call of Duty Warzone and Fortnite, and even Roblox have such a like big hold on this type of genre, that I feel like it's hard to compete, and so that, I guess, kind of brings me to one of the first things that I was thinking about talking on the stream today, though, is sometimes, though, like, whenever a game like this shuts down, and it shuts down so quickly after it comes out, it does kind of really make you question, like, so how much money does a game need to make now in order to be considered, like, profitable? Because I feel like the games industry has been questionable, lately in terms of, like, activities regarding money. There's been a lot of controversy over the past couple like years of like games coming out, and then you know, the publisher or studio, whatever, who's in charge of it, like immediately fires the entire team like the day that the game comes out, in order to, I don't know, I guess like make things look better because they're profiting off of the game itself, but without having to like continue paying the people who made it anymore because they're not part of the team or whatever. So there's been a lot of things like that, and then there's also a lot of situations like this game, or like Multiverses, or like just numerous others that they've come out and then like within a year have been shut down. I mean, there was a whole controversy with Concord where it came out and literally shut down within like 2 days. Yeah, I don't know. I find it odd, and I find it like, it makes you just wonder about business practices, because like, I don't really want to get super into like economics or like, you know, telling companies how to run themselves or whatever, but I do think it's like how much profit do you really need to make, you know? Like, I feel like that's part of the issue sometimes, is like, in general, with the way that sort of a lot of economies work, there's almost like too many ways to make money, and like, I know this is a lot of things all over a game shutting down, but this is a thing, like, this is a topic that I was thinking about at work over the past few days to like kind of talk about on stream, so I've rehearsed it a little bit in my mind. But so like, when you think about like the way that a lot of investment and stuff works, you can invest in almost everything. Like, you can make money off of companies making money. You can make money off of companies not making money. You can make money off of so many different things that it's almost like insane. like how many different ways there are to make money. And I feel like that type of economy, like that type of, not even that type of economy, but that type of system can be really harmful for a lot of companies, creative or otherwise, just because like there's this search for endless profit when you have a lot of investors and stuff and like a lot of employees and stuff, and that's just not really possible. Like, anybody I think who's taken, you know, a basic economics class or whatever knows that like companies do not often have just, you know, like permanent profitability. There's very few companies that can just continue to exist like forever. And especially like when you're a video game company or whatever, and like your thing is making video games. I don't know. Like, I know what I'm saying is probably a little bit confusing and probably not like the best that I've ever presented an idea on stream. But you know, when a thing like this happens, I think about stuff like Club Penguin private servers or like the Defiance relaunch by Fox. And I mentioned this even on oh god, sorry, I've got like a hiccup coming.
New hotshot is an
Dang, almost
opponent.
got the what's it called, that one thing? I played Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon and I really enjoyed it.
Available.
What's the name? This thing, it takes ammo from your health, but it's like this cool laser.
Friendly hotshot is
you get it at like the end of Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Where's an enemy? Oh, come on, I didn't even get to use it. But
Your team
what was
is
I
in the
saying
lead.
about games? Oh, so like you think about like Club Penguin shut down, Defiance shut down, you know, and a lot of times it's because like, hey, this game has become not profitable enough for us to continue keeping it online. It's like, you know, whatever, okay, fine. But then when something like a Club Penguin private server pops up, and it's like, you know, as much as this is like, so part of the problem with things like Club Penguin private servers is obviously that they don't have like a huge staff or whatever, and they're not always moderated very well and stuff like that. But at the same point, when you think about it, in a team of maybe like a couple like people can like effectively make their own version of Club Penguin and keep it online and stuff. Or similarly, like the whole thing with Fox and Defiance, how I said before, how like a relatively, I think, small team like Fox has taken on Defiance and like the whole licensing thing. If you want to hear me talk more about that, you could probably just watch like the Defiance live stream or the one I did like the week before that or whatever.
You are the current hotshot. Bounties
So,
earn additional points. Hostile hotshot detected.
So, yeah, my point is just that, like, whenever a game is sort of revived by a smaller team, I feel like it makes you question what exactly was necessary for that game to actually run in the first place. Like, how much of it was that you had to shut it down because it wasn't profitable in terms of, like, was it not profitable in terms of, like, you could not pay to keep the game online? Or was it not profitable in terms of, like, you know, you weren't, like, able to, like, pay your team, I guess? Or you weren't able to, like, have as big of a team, or you weren't able to give as much money back to, like, shareholders and stuff? Yeah, I don't know. It's just something that kind of frustrates me sometimes. There's a lot of games out there that I feel like have been really cool ideas that end up being shut down really fast, especially lately. And this is just one example of it. So sorry for that kind of messy ramble. I hope it made sense. But that was something that I figured was appropriate to talk about for this stream. And that was pretty much the whole concept I was going to talk about if I made a video about this instead of doing a stream. That's just the like rougher version of what I was trying to get to. But yeah, it also makes me kind of sad about like seeing another. Oh yeah, is that a rabbit? It kind of makes me sad to see another Ubisoft game shut down, because it wasn't all too long ago that Driver San Francisco and Far Cry 3 multiplayer were shut down. Driver San Francisco may be back online. I remember they shut it down and then they also put it back online, but I think it's like permanently offline now. I guess I'll just do quick play. So, yeah, I remember I streamed both of those around the time that they were shutting down. And for Far Cry 3, I had never really played Far Cry 3 multiplayer that much on my own, so like, I didn't really know like that much about it. It was similar to kind of the normal Call of Duty type gameplay, but it also had like a lot of like other aspects that were kind of unique to Far Cry and stuff, and just like the way the leveling up and abilities and stuff worked. And of course the theming of it and everything was very Far Cry-ish. And also Far Cry 4 had multiplayer, although I think Far Cry 4's multiplayer did not well, I don't know if Far Cry 4's multiplayer stayed online or not. Yeah, so Far Cry 3's multiplayer shut down, and then the thing, that one, I was like, you know, that was kind of sad, but not like the main focus of that stream that I'd done there. The thing that got me was Driver San Francisco shutting down, because that game has really good multiplayer. I mean, Driver San Francisco as it is, you know, I feel like a lot of people probably are aware that Driver San Francisco is a really, really good racing game. If you can even really consider it like a racing game. It's kind of more of a driving game because it's not exclusively racing. But, you know, like, that game was really, really good. And the multiplayer for it, I've said this before, but it was one of the legit, like, best, like, party mode games that I think I've ever played. The mechanics of Driver San Francisco with, like, shift and stuff just works really well for multiplayer. And it was just a really fun game, and so I was really sad when the multiplayer ended up shutting down because I hadn't actually gotten to play it that much. Hang on, I have to go blow my nose again. I'll be right back.
Fuck yeah!
Switching sides.
Alright, I'm back. Sometimes when I go to work, when I get back home, sometimes I have like a really runny nose. And I think it's because like I work in such a dusty environment.
2, 1.
Anyway, what I was saying was, yeah, Far Cry 3's multiplayer is good. But Driver San Francisco's multiplayer was awesome. And I remember I played it like a handful of times, and actually there were usually people that would be online playing it. Yeah, I never really got to play it like as much as I would have preferred. I did in the time before the game shut down, I did actually end up recording like a ton of footage of Driver San Francisco multiplayer, because it's so good, and it also like is so intriguing and like fun to watch that I figured it would be good for like future videos. So yeah, I have still like a bunch of Driver San Francisco. I think I've probably uploaded it like overall by now, but I took a bunch of it in the days before it shut down. It would be really cool if it was still online though, but I don't think it is, because I think my girlfriend and I tried to play it together one time and it wouldn't work. Supposedly, at least for the PC version, I think there's private servers, but I don't believe, like, I don't think that, I don't know how easy it is to do that, and also it's hard to find a PC version of it because I don't think it got released physically on PC, and even if it did, like a lot of PC games, you need like a code to put into Steam or Ubisoft or whatever it might be. So it can be kind of hard to get like PC versions of that game because it got delisted. And then on consoles, it's even kind of expensive for physical copies on consoles, but it's not too hard to find. But then of course, it's harder to connect to a private server on consoles. So that's part of the issue. But oh wow, hey, they clutched it. Yeah.
Switching sides.
It also is sad that this game is shutting down because like I was saying, there's so many Ubisoft properties that work so well for this. Like I didn't know that this Mykonos thing was from Assassin's Creed, and I didn't realize all the characters they added in and stuff since I played last, because they've added like 4 new factions, and there's so many more to add. Like, you know, I had said in a stream one time before that I thought a good team to add to this game would be the Templars. I'm kind of surprised they added the Assassins, actually, because this may be like the first modern appearance of the Assassins from Assassin's Creed in like a modern capacity. But ooh. Oh, got him. But
Damn, that was fucking raw.
yeah, and then like look, like there's the character from Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon. Yeah, dude, there's so many possible characters. You could have added some other, like the other hacker groups from Watch Dogs aside from DedSec, because there was like some of the enemy ones. Like I know that like a lot of the factions in XDefiant seem to be characters that are like good guys in the games. Except for like the cleaners, but I think, you know, the enemy factions you could have had a lot of room to play with too. By the way, I think it's very funny how the Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon team only has one character. They just have the mullet guy, or the mullet man, or whatever his name is. Yeah. I really wish this game had had some more time to like simmer though, because I think there's just so much you could do with this game. There's so many different Ubisoft properties, and not only is there so many different Ubisoft properties, but a lot of Ubisoft properties take place in like very different areas and stuff, so there's so many map opportunities and stuff. I mean, if you just think of Watch Dogs alone, like you've got Chicago, San Francisco, and London. Assassin's Creed, you've got all sorts of places. Tom Clancy, you've got all sorts of places. Like there's just so much opportunity with this game, and it's sad that's kind of being missed. Especially because this game took a while to come out too. Like it got announced a pretty long time before it actually came out.
Three, two, one.
I should probably turn off. I don't think. Oh wait. I should probably turn off voice chat, because I don't know what other people might be saying.
Changing mags. Reloading medic.
You know, sometimes playing games like this, it feels weird now that I'm like an adult, and that I live in like a state in the US that has pretty lax laws on gun ownership, because like when I was making my loadout, I chose the M4 in the 1911, and I was like, wait a minute, I own these in real life. Like, that's kind of weird. Um, but of course not a fully
Changing
automatic
sides.
one, because that is not legal in the U.S. But yeah. I don't know. Okay. I have a question for any of you guys who might watch the archive of this, or if anybody's watching it live right now. Although usually it seems like more people watch the archives of these streams. I figure I should just ask, kind of directly, my like audience, like, is it weird when I talk about guns? Because I feel like it can go either way sometimes, depending on your audience. Like, I don't mention real life guns that much because I know that some people don't like that kind of thing. But also, being a gun owner in real life, I feel like it kind of gives an interesting perspective sometimes when I'm talking about video games. So I don't know, if anybody has opinions on that, make sure to leave me a comment. Because I also know that there's a lot of people who watch my channel from like different countries and stuff. And of course the US is like one of the most like gun-toting countries that there is. Like, we have some absurd number of like gun to person ratio or whatever here. Yeah, don't worry, this channel is not going to become like a firearms channel. But like I said, I feel like sometimes, since a lot of the games that I play, like, there are a lot of like first person shooters and stuff, I don't know, I feel like it just does provide a little bit of an interesting perspective owning some of those in real life. Because I feel like sometimes there's a little bit of a disconnect when you see people talk about video game guns on YouTube. Like, there's a lot of times where it's like somebody is either specifically a YouTuber and like a gaming YouTuber, and they're not really like a gun person, and then other times there's like gun YouTubers who talk about stuff from video games, but they're more of like a gun tuber. I feel like there's not a lot of channels that actually like are specifically both. But anyway. Speaking of real life stuff, though, okay, God, this match is long. Speaking of real life stuff, though, I figured I would give you guys some updates on real life as well, because I tend to do that during live streams. So, for one thing that I realized I totally forgot to mention when I streamed last, like 2 weeks ago. So I had talked before about that I had been watching the show Jormungand, the anime Jormungand, or Jormungand, and I actually finished watching that like a while ago and just totally forgot to mention it on the last stream. That was an okay show. I like to kind of mention the stuff in case any of you guys might be interested in checking out these shows or books or whatever that I've been reading or watching or whatever. Jormungand was a cool concept and I liked it, and I'm overall glad that I watched it. However, and I'm not going to spoil it, but I just want to note that the second season in particular kind of got under my skin because, without really getting into that many details, because again, don't want to spoil it, there's a part of the plot that is very like, there's a lot of focus on it, and yet there ends up being no payoff to it. And I'm not going to say anything more than that because I don't want to ruin it. But, yeah, that just really frustrated me with the second season. And it's even partially in the first season, too. So, like, there's a big thing with no payoff. A lot of build-up with no payoff, and I don't like that. So that annoyed me. But, now I am watching, can I get disconnected? No, okay. Now I'm watching another show. It's not anime. It is called Kings, and it's pretty interesting. Again, I'm not going to give like a ton of details because I don't want to spoil anything for it. And also, I've not even watched that much of it. I've only watched like 3 episodes, but it's one of the shows that only got 1 season. I believe it was on NBC, and I don't remember when it came out, but it was either the late 2000s or early 2010s, kind of the era that I watch a lot of shows and games and stuff like that from. But so the concept of it is like it takes place in modern day as of like 10-15 years ago, but it's like if monarchies were still like a primary form of government, and of course there are still monarchies in like the real world. However, you know, real world monarchies don't always exercise that much power. There's a big aspect of monarchies in some countries where it's more so that they're kind of like not to be offensive to like any royal families, but they're kind of like a tourist attraction and sort of like um ambassador role rather than like an actual true like ruling role. But the concept of kings is that it's like modern day like actual ruling kings and stuff. And so it's, I wouldn't necessarily
Switching
call it
sides.
alternate history, but more like alternate present. And it's really cool. It's really interesting. Pretty much the concept of the show begins, and I don't really think this is a spoiler because I think the box said this, the
3,
DVD box that I
2,
bought.
1.
That pretty much the main character is in the military of the country of Gilboa, and on like a military mission, he kind of rescues the king's son, and then subsequently that's kind of where the show begins. So that's like the concept of it, and you know, I've been watching it and I really enjoy it. It's really interesting. It's more of a drama than like an action show, and it's not even like, at least at the point that I'm at in the show, it's not really even like a dystopian show. It's kind of like this is a 1v1 now, isn't it? If I can win this though, we will win the whole match. Hang on, I need to lock in here. Oh, damn it. Dude, we just lost like 4 in a row. We were on match point, and then now we're
Switching
here.
sides.
But anyway, what I was saying, it's more of like a drama than like an action show. It almost reminds me of there's a couple shows it reminds me of. It reminds me of Jericho a little bit in
2,
terms of like
1.
the alternate reality stuff, but like the kind of like the kind of large concept with a local focus idea. So that's kind of interesting. And then it also reminds me a little bit of The Handmaid's Tale with the sort of idea of like modern society that still has a focus on like traditional values. Well, traditional in like the kind of problematic sense. But that being said, though, what I was saying, like, at least at the current within the first few episodes, of course, there's like sus aspects to some of the characters, but it's not like Gilboa is not like a dystopia, which is kind of an interesting change of like how some of these shows present this type of idea of like government and stuff. Yeah, it's a really cool show. Otherwise, some other shows I've been wanting to watch. I've actually picked up like a handful of DVDs and stuff. I haven't really bought that many games lately. I've been buying a lot of DVDs. I got The Walking Dead. I got the first season of The Walking Dead. I have not really watched any Walking Dead. I think I've seen like 2 or 3 scattered episodes. I'm kind of surprised at myself that I haven't watched it because I do like zombie stuff. But yeah, oh my god, I just leveled up this gun so much. You know, I've seen a lot of people complain that The Walking Dead kind of got weird later on, and like I have seen clips with like those Star Wars looking military guys and stuff. But honestly, that's part of what has me intrigued about The Walking Dead. Because I like that kind of stuff. Like, I think the whole, like, post-apocalypse, like, how does a society rebuild itself after some sort of apocalypse? I think that kind of concept is really interesting. And so, yeah, I have the first season of it on Blu-ray, and I think I'm not gonna like watch through the entire thing in one sitting, but I think I'm gonna try to kind of watch through it like season here and there. I think there's 11 seasons of Walking Dead in total, and that's just like the base Walking Dead show, because there's a bunch of different spin-offs and stuff, and there's like even still new Walking Dead shows being made. I didn't even realize how many spin-offs there were of Walking Dead until I looked into it one time, because there's Fear the Walking Dead, which I think is kind of the most well-known one, or at least the one that I knew most wellest. There's Dead City, there's like The Survivors, there's Tales of the Walking Dead, if I remember right. So yeah, there's a lot of Walking Dead material out there. And that's not even including like the video games that were based on the comics or the comics themselves. So yeah, there's a lot. In terms of other stuff that I've been paying attention to outside of like stuff that I've been focusing on the channel,
3, 2,
I'm still reading Julian Comstock. I'm on, I think, like page 400, and it's like 600 something pages, so I am finally getting pretty close to... Oh, good God, is this another one of these modes? I don't really like this mode that much. It's like search and destroy. So... Yeah, Julian Comstock, I've really enjoyed reading that book, but good God, it's such a lengthy book. I think that the next book I read is definitely going to be a shorter one, because I've actually bought a bunch of books, but I've been trying to be better about, like, finishing one thing before I move on to the next thing. I've actually got a bunch of manga that I want to read. I've got a bunch of volumes of Black Lagoon, a bunch of volumes of some other ones. And, but I want to finish reading Julian Comstock first. And the thing is, I actually can read through Julian Comstock pretty fast, when I actually just sit down and read it. But the thing is that it feels like I don't often just sit down and read it. It's always like I'm about to go to bed and I'm like, wait, let me read some Julian Comstock.
switching sides.
But yeah. And then I haven't really been playing that many games outside of stuff that I've played like specifically to record for the channel. So
3, 2, 1.
Trying to think. I sort of started replaying Death Stranding because I was very heavily considering buying Death Stranding 2, like pre-ordering it or getting it on release day or whatever. But I'm not entirely... Does he have a plunger gun, like, from Rabbids? Oh my God, I think he does. Ooh, I'm getting some lag.
Changing sides.
But, I don't really know if I'm actually gonna end up doing that or not. But yeah, so I started replaying that, and I got through the first, like, map of that game again. I've played through Death Stranding before, but it's such a, like, long and sort of complicated game that I was thinking I should replay it, if I'm gonna get Death Stranding 2. But I don't know, I might end up holding off for a little while on getting Death Stranding 2, just because I still haven't finished the original Death Stranding again, and I don't know if I will before the second game comes out. And truthfully, as much as I really do enjoy Death Stranding, I feel like replaying it, has reminded me of just kind of how frankly boring it can be. So yeah, I've been kind of recontemplating if I'm gonna buy Death Stranding 2 right on release day. Also, just in general, because I've been trying to save money and stuff. I did, however, pre-order a different game, and I made a joke about this on Blue Sky, if you follow me on there. But I actually pre-ordered Mind's Eye. That comes out in like a week, and I am extremely curious to see how this game turns out. There's really not been that much advertising for Mind's Eye, and what has been advertised has always been kind of obscure. Mind's Eye has such a strange history that I can't really get completely into in the stream, because like I don't remember all of it, and like I don't want to spend super long like focused on that. But yeah, it seems like I feel like it could go either that Mind's Eye is going to be either... I don't think it will be a bad game. I've seen a lot of people saying that they think that Mind's Eye is just going to be straight up awful. I don't think that that's the case. But I do think that Mind's Eye is gonna go probably either one of two ways. It'll either be just like a meh, like okay shooter, third-person shooter game with like, you know, an okay story, okay mechanics, stuff like that. That's kind of the vibe I get from some of the stuff that I've seen so far. I think that's like the worst case scenario for it, but I think like the best case scenario is I do think that there's a chance that this game could actually end up being genuinely really good. And like I feel like they might purposefully be not showing that much of it, like in order to kind of not spoil that much of it. Because I read something somewhere about like an interview that some gaming magazine did with one of the people involved with Mind's Eye, and they said something about Mind's Eye is actually like something about that it's like they've shown only like a small snippet of it or something, that like it takes place, like the story of it takes place over like 10,000 years or something crazy like that, and they said something about that there's like a lot of twists and turns that they have not at all like revealed or anything. So I'm really curious to see that, because I feel like if the game actually does do some really interesting stuff like that, then it could be a really, really good game. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. There's also the whole thing with like the level creator, and I'm a little confused because it, on the one hand, it sounds like the developers of Mind's Eye are going to be using level creator themselves to make DLC, but also it's like open to the public, at least on the PC version of the game, to make stuff. So yeah, I don't know what all is going on there, but I'm really curious about it, is my point. And so I pre-ordered it. I actually pre-ordered it from Best Buy, which like I like Best Buy, but I don't really shop there that much. But I pre-ordered it from Best Buy specifically because, from what I've read, Best Buy actually seems to like subtly be known as the place that is theoretically most likely to send you a game a couple of days early, possibly. So we will see if that actually happens or not, but that is pretty much the reason why I pre-ordered it from there. Because I was contemplating like where to pre-order it from, but the thing is like, so if I pre-order it from GameStop, then that's easy because I can go get it on release day. But the thing that sucks is that GameStop doesn't open until like 11 p.m. or noon or whatever, depending on the store and depending on the day of the week. So like I wouldn't actually be able to get it until like midway through the day. And they're not going to do a midnight release for Mind's Eye. But then like I don't really know if like any other stores that are closer were going to do a pre-order for it, that like stores that would have opened earlier. So we'll see if I get it on release day or before release day or what. I think I ordered it early enough to at least get it on release day. Yeah, I will be kind of sad if I don't get it on release day, because then I will be like, dang, I should have just ordered that from GameStop and picked it up in person.
3, 2,
but yeah.
1. Revenge kill noted.
In terms of other real life stuff, I figured I'd tell you guys some like health update stuff, because I've been talking about that a little bit lately with like stomach issues and stuff. So I've got to see if I need to do a sleep study at some point soon. When I went to see my doctor about my stomach stuff, she was also asking about like my sleep patterns and stuff. And she seemed like slightly concerned that there's a chance that I could have sleep apnea. And I mentioned this a while ago on stream. And the thing is, like, I don't know. There are symptoms of sleep apnea that sound kind of like things that I have going on, but I'm also not entirely convinced, because I actually have a family member that had sleep apnea. My dad actually had sleep apnea. So I've seen sleep apnea in person, like up close, kind of what it looks like, what it sounds like, because it makes you snore and stuff. Um, so like there's some things that I have going on that seem kind of like that, but then there's also a lot of things that I'm like, I really don't know if that's gonna be what it is. So I don't even know if I'll actually have to do a sleep study. But I've got to make an appointment with like a sleep specialist. Um, the thing is, like, I do like I feel like it looks like I sleep a lot more than I actually do sleep. Because I sleep kind of weirdly, because I actually sleep sort of like twice a day. I was actually talking to some of my family members about this earlier, but when I go to sleep at night, I usually will only end up sleeping like 5 or 6 hours instead of like the normal 8 to 10 or whatever it is. And then I'll end up taking a nap later in the day for like 2 or 3 hours. So in reality, it looks like I'm sleeping a lot because I'm sleeping like 2 times a day, but I'm actually only still sleeping like 8 or 9 hours, which is pretty normal. And that's just like a sleep schedule screw up thing, honestly. That's kind of something that started when I was in high school, and then I just never have really gotten out of that habit. Um, yeah, and then the other thing too, sleep apnea, like a big symptom of that can be snoring. But the thing is, like, sleep apnea snoring is like kind of particular. And specifically, I remember how it sounded when my dad used to snore, was sleep apnea. 'Cause it's not even necessarily a snore as much as it sounds like you're like fighting for your life, because sleep apnea actually makes you stop breathing for intervals when you're sleeping. um and so I remember when I was younger, my dad for like a really long time used to sleep, like he would snore extremely loudly and roughly. Like he would, like the house would shake when he snored and stuff. um and so I've been told before that I do snore, but then I've also been told before that I don't snore. When I went to visit my girlfriend last, that's like the only time that anybody's like sleeping in the same room as me, and she said that I snored, but that it wasn't like a loud snore, that it was kind of like a honk shoo me 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 like that kind of thing, which is kind of funny. Um,
All other allies defeated.
but we got this. We might got this. We did get this. So yeah,
You have won.
we'll have to see. I really do hope though that I don't have sleep apnea, because that is like a huge pain. When my dad had it, I remember he got a CPAP machine eventually, and he had pretty good luck with his CPAP machine, but it's still annoying because it's like, whoa, what is this out of what is this? But it was like, I just remember like it seemed like a big pain to have to use it every night, because it's a big mask you got to put on and everything. And sleep apnea though, like alongside the fact that it's kind of concerning if you stop breathing for intervals while you're sleeping, there's also the fact that it can apparently cause you to have like significantly larger chances of other health problems like strokes and stuff. So yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about that kind of thing. Let's try turbo. And I really hope that I don't have that, because it seems like a pain. That being said, if I do have sleep apnea, a lot of the times sleep apnea can actually be like fixed a lot, like not necessarily totally cured all the time, but fixed a lot by losing weight. And that's the thing that I've already been working on. So yeah, so hopefully, like, even if that is what it is, hopefully it's a thing that like could be fixed with just losing some weight. Yeah, I'm really hoping it's not. But the thing is too, like, the other thing with sleep apnea too that I remember from my dad, and that I've also heard like seen a lot when I looked it up online and stuff, is that a lot of people with sleep apnea are tired all the time. Like, they have actual trouble sleeping. And the thing with me, is it's kind of like I said, that it's not that I'm tired all the time, it's just that I have a weird sleep schedule, which makes it look like I'm tired all the time, even though I'm not. Um, so, like right now, I mean, right now I'm pretty wide awake. I was a little bit tired at work earlier, but I also didn't get that much sleep last night because I stayed up late. But I slept through the night and everything. Like, I pretty much always sleep through the night when I go to sleep. I don't usually have to wake up to do anything, like go to the bathroom or anything. I don't usually just wake up, or anything like that. So, I don't know, like that's kind of thing. Like, I remember when my dad was really, really suffering with sleep apnea, like he was like literally falling asleep sitting down, like looking at his computer or watching TV and stuff. One time he actually fell asleep while standing up and fell over. And yeah, that was not good. I thought that was kind of a scary moment. He was fine, but it was kind of funny after the fact. But he was in his kitchen and he fell asleep while standing up, landed on his butt and smacked into his stove. And I thought he broke the glass door on his stove. But yeah, he ended up being fine. Well, that from that, as you guys know, if you've watched my streams and heard me talk about my dad before, he had some worse luck with health stuff later on. So that's the other thing too, is like, I'm not out here like falling asleep when I'm doing things. Like even right now, I'm pretty wide awake as I'm streaming, even though it's kind of late, so that's maybe not great, but yeah, I'm probably not going to stream for too much longer though, because I actually want to try to wake up early tomorrow and go get some stuff done. So anyway though, that's my health stuff. I actually also have to make an appointment for my cat. My cat has been my cat's been throwing up a little bit lately, which weird sentence to say on a stream, I guess, but I gotta make a vet appointment for her. Yeah, I don't really know why. Like, I looked it up, and apparently, according to the internet, it's actually not that strange for cats to throw up relatively often, which I kind of already knew because fur balls and things like that cats throw up. But yeah, she's been throwing up a little bit more than normal lately, and so I've got to make a vet appointment for her, which I'm not really that worried about it. I think it might just be her food, because I've been giving her a little bit different food, so I probably just need to give her like the food that I was giving her before. And I think she might be overeating a little bit too, so I think I need to like limit her food intake a little bit. But the frustrating thing is, it's like, dang, who knows how much that's gonna cost? Because I've been trying very hard to save money, and it's like, man, there's always something that pops up, you know? But anyway, I think that's enough real life rambling for now. Or at least like semi like boring, like kind of annoying stuff in real life rambling. Something cool coming up, well, I guess I don't really need to give you guys a heads up on, but I don't know, some of y'all might find it interesting. I'm gonna go be visiting the UK again soon. Gonna be going over there to see my girlfriend again. So that'll be nice. I was over there a couple months ago to visit her. So I'm not gonna tell y'all exactly when I'm going, because I'm weird about privacy. But, yeah, that'll be nice. Go over there, see her. I don't really know if there's any games that I want to try to pick up over there that I don't already own. I kind of managed to get most of the like European exclusive games that I owned, or that I wanted. But yeah, so that'll be fun though. And so, by the way, if I disappear from social media for a couple days, that is probably what I'm doing. Something else kind of both real life and video game related that made me pretty sad the other day. I went to a local arcade, went to one of the ones that I've been going to quite a bit. This is another thing I also posted about on Blue Sky, but they had the Injustice arcade game there, and that was actually kind of the arcade that introduced me to the Injustice arcade game, and then also like some of the other card based arcade games that they have in the US right now. And I went there last week and was distraught to find that they have gotten rid of their Injustice arcade game. So that kind of really sucks. They actually like reorganized a bunch of the games in that arcade, which I don't really know why they did that. It's a Dave & Buster's, and I kind of wonder if Dave & Buster's is almost trying to like aim more towards a younger audience now, because I mentioned a couple weeks ago I went to a Main Event for the first time, and Main Event is also owned by Dave & Buster's, and how like when I was there, one of the employees, I'd asked if they had Injustice or Marvel Contest of Champions, and he said that they didn't have any fighting games. And I also kind of noticed that they didn't really seem to have like that many like shooting games or anything like that. The Dave & Buster's that I went to that used to have the Injustice arcade game, I kind of noticed the same thing there. It seemed like they got rid of any fighting games, and like they also got rid of any other sort of like sort of violent games. So yeah, I kind of wonder if they might be sort of aiming for that younger demographic, because I mean there are a lot of kids that go to Dave & Buster's as it is, even though it is kind of like a barcade sort of. But yeah, it kind of sucks though. They got rid of one of my favorite games, and then they also got rid of just generally some of the other ones that I like too. So I don't really know if I'll be going back there, because last time I went, I didn't even use all of my tokens, or my credits, or whatever they're called now, the virtual coins to play the games. I only used like 3/4 of them, and I didn't even know if I was going to use all of those, because I just kind of got bored. So oh, another thing that I wanted to talk about though was some future video stuff coming up. So yeah, there's a whole handful of videos that I've got on the way that I'm planning on doing. So in my big spreadsheet of video ideas, I've got a bunch of them, but in particular there's a few that I've actually like started working on. So there's a couple Club Penguin related things, of course, because I've been doing a lot of Club Penguin videos. But one is so Waddle Forever finally has gotten a Mac OS client. So I made a video. I recorded a video about that. It's pretty straightforward. It's not really even like a tutorial as much as it is just kind of like a, hey, this is a thing that exists now type of video, because it's not really, it didn't really need like a tutorial to install it. It's pretty straightforward. So I recorded that, and I've got to edit that and upload that. And then also with Waddle Forever, I will probably try to do a video about changing. Somebody asked me how to change the loading screen or the login screen. I don't remember which one it was. So I'll probably do a video, try to do a video, assuming that I can figure it out. Sometimes when I get the kind of requests for videos, I gotta go and figure out how to do something first anyway. My controller batteries are low. Uh-oh, not my double A's. Sometimes I have to go and figure out how to do it first. So I gotta take a look at that, and see if I can even figure that out. Waddle Forever has had like some updates since I updated it last in like my videos, and a couple of things have changed around. So that could be like, that's kind of partially why I want to do another tutorial video too, is to sort of demonstrate a couple of the changes. Yeah, and then aside from Waddle Forever, I've got another MMO related thing. So it's not Club Penguin, but Free Realms actually. So Free Realms is another game that I played a ton when I was a kid. And I was kind of, sad that there wasn't really like a way to play it anymore or anything. It's not really gotten like a private server yet. There's the thing with Free Realms Sunrise, but Free Realms Sunrise has been kind of slow going, and not really had like an open beta yet still, I don't think. So I haven't been able to mess with that, but I recently found out about a different thing called open source free roams, and it's not like the full game, but it's sort of like like you can get into the game and just walk around, and that is really cool. Just like since there's been nothing playable for free roams, to even just be able to walk around the map is so cool. And like just to mess with the menus and stuff. I messed with it a little bit already before I've recorded any videos for it, and it's just like, I can't believe it's been like 10 years since I played this game. I went to like the beach, and you know, it's like, everything is it's exactly where I left it. So that's pretty cool. And I'll probably make a video on that at some point in the future too. That's another one that, well, I don't know, it could use a tutorial, because there's a couple of like errors you can run into with it, or at least like one error that I ran into with it, that, you know, probably could be helpful for somebody if I make a video about how I installed it. But yeah, it's right on GitHub, and it's really, really cool to be able to explore the map, even if you can't really do everything. Like, not everything works. Like, I don't think any of the quests or anything like that are in it, and like one of the weird things that I noticed that didn't work, the beach in free roams used to have these like big like jump pad trampoline things, and for some reason they don't work. So it's definitely not like perfect, but it's something, and that's nice. And then alongside those,
Armament equipped.
I would kind of like to try to I think I've mentioned this before, but so a lot of people have asked me about making Club Penguin private servers, and I've always kind of been like, no, like, I don't want to cover anything with that because it's kind of questionable, and a lot of private servers lead to issues and stuff. But so many people have been asking that I've been thinking about making some, well, it's not even that I've been thinking about, I'm probably going to make some tutorials about CPPS Creator, because that's like, that's good for making like a small server to just play with your friends and stuff. It is limited enough that it's not really easy to make it into like a full server, so I don't feel so bad about like making tutorials on that, because it's more of like just a way to play Club Penguin with your friends rather than like to make a CPPS for profit. But yeah, so CPPS Creator, I actually like had recorded a video about it a while back. But the thing is that CPPS Creator actually has so many features. Like, there's almost more things that you can do in it than you can do in Waddle Forever, that I stopped. Like, I ended up deleting the bit that I had recorded because I was like, no, I need to like actually plan these videos out because there's so much going on here. Because the thing with CPPS Creator is like there was a lot of stuff on CPPSs that that happened, like, that were custom to CPPSs as compared to just base Club Penguin. And Waddle Forever is like a very base Club Penguin thing. Whereas CPPS Creator has stuff like name glows and moderators and all sorts of stuff like that. So there's a lot to cover in that. So yeah, that might take a while. But it's really cool. The only other thing too, I don't know if I'll be able to work on any CPPS Creator videos right now because their website has been acting a little weird. When I went to record some stuff about it a while back, I was running into issues with actually getting like connected to my server. And I've noticed also recently that if you go to the CPPS Creator website and you go to any of the servers that are running, the game actually loads without needing a flash projector or anything, but it loads through Ruffle, and Ruffle can be really weird with working with Club Penguin, because Ruffle is designed, I think, more so for like, Ruffle is designed for like individual games, like Flash games and stuff that are kind of all in one file. Club Penguin is sort of complicated in that like there's a lot of files to it and they kind of all reference each other and stuff, so it is possible to set up a CPPS that works with Ruffle. It's been done before, but it's complicated, and so I think that the team at CPPS Creator may be trying to do that right now, but I'm not sure if it's working. So yeah, anyway though, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream there, because I should go to bed. Hope you guys enjoyed. Yeah, I've got some videos and stuff on the way. I will see you in other stuff in the future. And unfortunately, I mean, I know I didn't actually talk about XDefiant this much or that much during this stream. But yeah, if you want to play some XDefiant, now would be the time to do so, because it shuts down tomorrow. I don't really know what time tomorrow, but at some point soon. So yeah, if you want to play it, well, it's delisted now. So if you want to play it and you have played it before, you should definitely do that, because it is fun. I actually had a lot of fun playing that tonight, even though I didn't really talk about it a lot. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in other stuff in the future, and bye-bye.